Hello, and welcome to The World Spins Fine on Her Own.
June 1st, 2025.
So if you're new, welcome to the channel. Robin and I have been doing videos since YouTube began, and then even before that.
Oh yeah, we started with slideshows.
We did slideshows, yes.
Yeah, one of the first.
And we worked in radio, so just a real brief explanation, then we'll get to your questions. We worked in radio for 36 years or something like that.
Yep.
And every day we'd get up, we'd put the news together, we would deliver the news, and we were on the air for anywhere between 4 and 6 hours, depending on what year we're talking about.
Every weekday.
Every
Monday
day.
through Friday. Yep, you bet.
Every day.
Sometimes Sundays.
So when it came time for us to realize we were getting old, we said to ourselves, you know, they really don't need us. They can do this, meaning the world. You guys out there can do this without us. The world spins fine on her own. They don't need us. So we left. We left radio, and we called it retirement, but we really never retired because we started doing more intense videos, especially about Florida. So now we have this experience of being able to go out and see things and do things and take Amtrak trains and take car trips and
Planes.
go to the beach, go to the parks, everywhere.
Go everywhere. Grocery stores.
And we have involuntarily become the Florida go-to people, at least two of them. There are many of us.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to questions about Florida. So, I will say, and Robin I'm sure will agree, by the way, that's Robin.
Hi.
I'm Larry.
I'm looking out our window. I see a squirrel jumping across the grass. He's a happy guy. Looking for nuts.
So here's the thing. I don't think we can accurately represent the whole state, but we can talk about Ocala. We can talk about Marion County. We can
Florida.
Ocala, Florida, of course. We can
Marion
talk
County,
about
Florida.
Marion County. We can talk about Orlando a little bit, Daytona, Tampa, Jacksonville, this general area. But we're not really experts on Miami, although we've been there. All right,
yeah,
so I
we've
have
been everywhere.
on my phone, Robin, I have the questions that people want to know. So this is all about our answers are going to come from us regarding what we know. Just so you know.
What we know and what we feel.
So that's our disclaimer. Okay.
Okay.
So what are the typical commute times and traffic patterns like in the area I'm considering? We're going to assume you mean Ocala.
Florida.
Not to be confused with Ocala, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Answer the question, please, ma'am. What are the typical commute times and traffic patterns like in Ocala, Florida?
Okay, well, if you're coming from the southwest part of Ocala where we live, you'll be traveling east on State Road 200. I can talk about that. It's 6 lanes of traffic, and it depends on the days that you start work. I've traveled it at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. Traffic is very, very heavy until 9 o'clock, and then there's a lull until 11 a.m., and then it starts getting very heavy again because of the southwest side of Ocala has a lot of retirees, and that's when they go to their doctor's appointments, and then that is lunchtime. So, traffic is, it has taken me 50 minutes to go 15 miles. That's from,
How many minutes?
50.
50?
Yes,
Wow.
50.
See, I always went to
Because
work.
traffic is so bad sometimes.
I would always leave like 4 o'clock in the morning, so there was no traffic at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, Ocala has become a city, and traffic is part of it, just so you know.
Yeah, and State Road 40, which is the main drag if people get off of the Interstate 75 to go through town to Daytona Beach. That's a hard road too.
We have a lot
very,
of...
very,
You just have to...
long.
Just plan it out. Just plan it out. All right, next question.
Yeah.
Is public transportation readily available, or is having a car essential? I would say public transportation is available and having a car is essential.
Public transportation is available if you live within the city limits of Ocala.
Now, can I add this? Robin's mother lives in an apartment complex, and one of the other tenants in that apartment complex decided to give up his car. He's an older guy.
Yes.
and now he pays $25 a month for the bus.
The bus pass.
The bus pass. That's not a bad deal. He no longer has to pay insurance and
For his car
and gasoline.
and stuff.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's very, very good if you live within the Ocala city limits.
depends where you live.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
then you're going to have the Suntran bus. If you're outside of the city limits and you are retired or disabled, there are different transit systems that you can call up, schedule an appointment for them to pick you up at your door,
Oh, yeah.
take you to the doctor's office or shopping or anything.
Yeah.
But you have to tell them your schedule and then they'll fit you into their
And,
schedule.
and keep in mind, I think what Rob is referring to, correct me if I'm wrong, is senior services.
Yes.
So if you're 20, there are no senior services. You have to take a bus or drive or take Uber or something.
Right, but if you are disabled, they make
There
exceptions
you go.
for that too, so that doesn't matter for age.
All right, next question. How easy is it to find reliable services like plumbers, electricians, and landscapers? Oh,
Very easy.
we got a lot of those, all three of those categories. I think what happens is the young people realize that there are a lot of older people here, and they tap into that. I mean, people like us, we would hire a plumber or a landscaper or an electrician to do all those three things. So, in fact, we just did have a plumber in here 2 days ago.
Yeah, and we do have gated communities in Marion County, so they do the gated communities do contract their work out, so it's very, very easy to find anybody that you need for that aspect.
All right, the next question, I think we don't know the whole answer, but the question is, what are the requirements for getting a Florida driver's license and registering a vehicle?
Ah,
I think if you're bringing a car into Florida, I think there's an impact fee.
yes, there is.
Do you know how much it is?
I do not. I'd have to look
I think
that up.
last time I heard it was like $300. But I could be wrong about that. That's one I don't know the answer to.
Very good for you to call up the Division of Motor Vehicles, and they will answer all of your questions accurately.
Same thing with the next question. What is involved in transferring professional licenses or certifications to Florida? I honestly don't know. You mean like a doctor?
Right. You'd have to call the state boards themselves, the state boards for the veterinary practice, for the human doctor practices. You'd have to call the state of Florida in Tallahassee, and they will direct you.
The next question is going to have some political disagreement.
Okay.
How does the local education system operate, and what are the options for public versus private schools? First of all, Robin and I have worked closely with the public school system. They've been super nice. We've known some kids who have graduated with super great careers. Her son, my son, her daughter, they're all doing really well. They all graduated from public schools here.
Yes.
But on the other hand, having worked in radio and having heard from the public for so many years, there are a lot of people who disagree with us. So I don't really know the answer to that. If I was going to be, my heart of hearts says, really the student is probably the one who's most responsible for his or her own education.
Sure.
But that said, I know that there are good teachers and there are bad teachers, just put it that way.
And there are public schools, private schools in our area, and there are homeschooling parents. Parents will do homeschooling, and they have a lot of activities and things geared for the homeschooling parent. And if you're a homeschooling parent, they also have online classes that you can be associated with a public school, but take all of your classes online, and then when it comes to graduation, you do walk with that public school to get your diploma.
Right. Robin and I go to a church that is also a Christian school.
Yes.
For those who are interested in that, and there's a Catholic school that's also for those people who want that, and there are other private schools, and there's a lot of homeschool kids now too doing the online thing.
Exactly.
In fact, my niece just graduated from her high school, and I think her whole last year was spent at home using a computer as the teaching device.
Exactly, and your other niece is one of the teachers
Oh, right, I have a niece that's a
that
teacher.
teach all of those online classes. So
Okay.
It all depends. No matter who you ask, everybody's going to have a different opinion. So you need to, when you come into this area, go meet the principal of the school in your district. Talk to them, talk to the guidance counselor.
Yeah.
Go to the private school, talk to them, talk to their guidance counselor, and then decide on your own what's best for your child.
Yeah. What are the local healthcare facilities like, including hospitals, urgent care centers, and specialists? I have had a good experience in my case. I know some people have had experiences where they were just frustrated. They would write letters to the editor indicating that they are fed up with the local medical professionals. But that's not been my experience. What about you?
No, I've been very happy with the variety of medical professionals that I've had to have over my 70 years. And no, I'm very happy with them. We've got a lot of hospitals. They're different hospitals. It's not like one big conglomerate. You've got different hospitals here. You've got different professionals. You've got different doctors' offices. You've got specialists in our area. The best thing to do is get with your own physician at your place and see if they have someone to recommend for you to transfer over to, and then take it from there.
All right, I have curated the questions. So the next group of questions is about the climate.
Okay.
How intense, and by the way, this question is several people wrote the same exact question and I just put it into one. How intense is the summer heat and humidity, and what are common ways people cope with it? I can tell you. I'm going to let her answer after I do. It gets so freaking hot.
It does.
Absolutely, it gets very hot. How do we cope? I've lived here for a long time. Air conditioners. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy somebody invented the air conditioner. But then there's also some beautiful swimming places. There's a couple of beautiful clear rivers around here.
And springs.
That's what I mean, springs, rivers. And people have swimming pools. But truthfully, without an air... I lived for a while in a mobile home, and it did not have an air conditioner. And it was not a happy time. I actually you know what I did? I think you know this. I would take a jug, an empty gallon jug that used to have milk in it, fill it with water, freeze it in the freezer, then put it into a styrofoam cooler, put a hole in the cooler, put a fan blowing into the cooler, and it would blow cool air onto me.
Yeah.
Now there's the poor man's air conditioner. You don't have to do that. If you're moving here, you probably have a few dollars, so get an air conditioner.
And on that note, you didn't have any heat, so you were wrapped up in blankets and.
In the winter, I did.
Had the oven on,
yeah.
yes.
I'm sorry. I was not the richest of men.
But the majority of homes do have central air and heat. You can also readily purchase window units. Sometimes you need that extra burst of coolness in one particular room, and then you shut your door and everything. You have outdoor sheds. We have a friend that had purchased an outdoor shed, and he installed a window unit in there.
In his shed.
Yeah, which he's using as an office.
But
so
don't let anybody tell you that it's not that bad. The heat is bad. The heat is bad.
yeah, you have to be really careful.
That's me. Some people love it. I see people out there, mowing their lawns, with their shirts off and she's always a delight to look at.
I know.
Oh, it was a joke.
We love it.
It was a joke. All right, next one.
And humidity. I love my good hair days. It's early spring and in the fall. As you get out of the shower, you brush your hair. It's just so great. There's no frizz at all.
Here's another common question that I grouped as one.
Okay.
What should I know about hurricane season and what preparations are typically necessary? Well, hurricane season begins today, June 1st.
Yep.
It runs through September something. And what you need to know is that they can be very bad.
Yeah.
What you need to know about Ocala is that Ocala is in the center of the state between the West Coast and the East Coast. And usually, by the time those scary storms hit the coast and they've done all that horrible damage, usually by the time they get here, they've calmed down. They'll still blow trees down. We've had our share of bad things happen from hurricanes, but knock on glass. It's a glass table here.
Hurricanes spawn tornadoes.
We've been lucky. That's what I
Even
want to
though we're in the north central part of the state, hurricanes spawn tornadoes. So just because a hurricane makes landfall and decreases in strength and volume doesn't mean that you're in the clear. You have to always be sure you hook up with the emergency management alert system in whatever town you decide to settle in.
Your phone has that now.
And you'll get it all.
By the way, hurricanes are obviously different than tornadoes. Tornadoes give you like no warning. Hurricanes give you several days warning.
Right.
So, in the case of a hurricane, you can drive out of the state and go to someplace you feel safer. I actually used to answer the phone when I worked at the radio station, and as the storm was coming near, this is before the internet, people would call and say, Larry, what should I do? The hurricane's coming. Do you think I should leave town? And I would always say, if you can afford to, and if it's not an inconvenience, I would. I mean, I had to do a job, so I couldn't.
No.
And as I just revealed, I'd lived in a mobile home, so I was kind of stuck. But actually, my place that I took refuge was the radio station itself. It was in a brick building, so.
Yeah, there is a whole list online. You go to the emergency management part of the online of Marion County, and you'll see a whole list of what you need to do for preparations. In fact, right now it is June 1st. I've been to the grocery store the past couple days, and the water supply, bottled water, is very, very low because people are doing it early.
Preparing.
You prepare. You get your non-perishable items, and you get your water, and then tuck it away somewhere. And that's half the battle there.
The worst case I ever went through was the electricity was out for about 10 days. I think it was out for 2 weeks where Robin lived. We didn't live together at that time, by the way. I had a camping stove. I had camping lights. I had camping stuff, and like Robin says, get plenty of water, readily handleable. Whatever.
Handy. Ready, yeah.
Just
that non-perishable items.
Yeah, like SpaghettiOs.
That's a staple.
All right, what are the common risks of flooding? Well, if you're in a flood zone, you're going to have a flood. That's why I don't understand how builders are allowed to build in flood zones. I don't even know how come that happens. There's another political answer. How does that even happen? If you have an area that's identified as a flood zone, why is there a house there? So do that due diligence and make sure you're not buying a house in a flood zone.
And the flood has different definitions, so...
Well, I meant from a storm.
Sure, but I mean, I'm just adding to what you're saying about the flood zone. You need to check with your homeowner's insurance policy and see what they deem as flood insurance. It could be rising water, could be flood insurance. Dripping water from the rain from your roof could be flood insurance. You just never know, and you do have to get all that insurance taken care of, because it's like what they stop selling insurance like 30 days before a hurricane is predicted or something.
The insurance is a different topic than the flooding question, and yes, Robin is right. Okay, next one. How prevalent? Oh, I love this one. How prevalent are insects like mosquitoes and palmetto bugs, and what pest control measures are usually taken? Mosquitoes are not usually a problem here in Ocala. I've not really noticed it, but they are in certain areas.
Yeah.
Palmetto bugs, I don't see as many as I used to.
No, but we still have them. I see them in the garage from time to time. They like the water.
And they have roaches. Roaches and palmetto bugs are two different things, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I hate roaches.
What pest control measures are usually taken? That's the best question, because that's where the best answer comes from. Yes, we have some really good professional pest control
experts.
Professionals. Yeah. And they'll take care of your house. Robin's mom had an issue with roaches.
German roaches.
Yeah, they were German.
They're
They
all
say
different
Gesundheit.
kinds. Yeah.
They say Gesundheit when you sneezed.
Yeah, roaches are all different kinds, and if you don't get the right treatment for whatever set of roaches you got, they're still going to be there.
Das ist ein Roach.
Yeah,
A
and you
roach.
had that issue too. You solved yours with jelly and peanut butter, I remember.
It wasn't jelly and peanut butter. It was jelly and it was jelly and boric
Oh, boric acid?
acid. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I heard about it on YouTube.
And it worked.
Let's see. What kind of wildlife, like alligators and snakes, might I encounter, and what precautions should I take? Oh my gosh, there are alligators pretty much in every body of water.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it. We saw an alligator in a retention pond,
Yeah.
and it was a big one too.
And it had a fence around it, chain link fence too.
So how did
it
it
got
get there? Yeah, we don't know. Snakes, yes, we've seen snakes.
They're everywhere.
We have snakes in our yard.
Yeah.
Usually the snakes we see here are harmless, but we went riding bicycles one time, and Robin almost ran over a big rattlesnake.
Yeah.
And I know it was. I got a photo of it. I can share it with you. If I find that, I'll put it as a B-roll here. Okay.
But no, they're very, very prevalent. And yes, alligators do find their way in golf courses. They find their way in people's swimming pools, in people's driveways, especially when it's mating season. They travel a lot. So before you open your door, just kind of open it real cautiously and peek out.
But that said, I don't take it lightly. But at the same time, I used to go when I was a kid, a teenager, 20s, early 30s. That's when I say kid. When you're 70, 30 years old as a kid. So I used to go, and so did Robin. We used to go floating down the river, is it a 4-mile run?
Yeah.
We float down the river, and there were alligators on the side.
On the Rainbow River,
You see them all the time, and I don't know. I guess we were stupid or something.
No, they usually don't bother you unless you are getting aggressive to them.
I don't want to scare you away. I mean, it's
invading their
nice.
space.
We live here. We're happy here. But are there any specific environmental concerns or challenges unique to Florida that I should be aware of? Well, what's I think unique is, I don't know you need to be aware of it, but sometimes we have afternoon rain, like super heavy thunderstorm, and then like half hour later it's sunny.
Yeah.
That's a odd thing.
Right.
I think if you've never lived in a place where you just have a little tiny cloud and it pours like a major storm, and then it's done.
Yeah.
It's like your uncle who got mad and then got better. Then he was no longer mad.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we do have a coal burning power plant here in Crystal River. There's a paper mill up in Palatka.
What does that got to do with the environment? Oh, the
Well, they're in
pollution?
right, with pollution.
I never noticed
The sometimes, right now, we just saw that a news article about the Sahara desert dust that's going to be engulfing the states, and that does happen.
Wow.
There were wildfires up in Georgia so bad a couple years ago that all of the soot and ashes and debris were all coming down to Florida. That's environment.
Right.
And in the Ocala National Forest, there's a bombing range. In that area, there's a bombing range,
That's right.
and the military will send out news releases to
my
all
gosh.
of the media to tell you what section they're going to be in and when they're doing it. So that's environmental.
You're going to be
have to be
scared by this.
careful.
This video is going to scare you. Don't let it scare you.
Oh no!
I don't want you to think you're going to move here. There's an alligator in your backyard. There's a bomber flying overhead. There's mosquitoes flying in and out of your ears.
Well, we want to be honest. We go camping a lot in a tent. So, I mean, we're one of the tent diehard people. And, I mean,
All right, what's the general vibe or culture? Okay, we live in Ocala. Ocala is kind of a, what do you call, a conservative town, I guess you would say, but it's got its share of liberal attitudes too. It's got,
sure.
It's got young and old. It used to be like only an old town, but there's a lot of young people here now too. But if you go to Gainesville up the road, if you want a younger vibe, that's where the University of Florida is. So that's a younger vibe.
correct.
If you go to Orlando, it's probably more of a professional vibe, if that makes sense. Young professionals probably in Orlando.
Yeah, but there are a lot of young professionals now that are staying in Marion County, in Ocala, Florida. They even have a nice, what they call a power plant here, that if you're a young person and you want to start a business, you can go. It's the Chamber and Economic Partnership. You can go there and then give them your ideas and everything, and they'll set you up. I think this is a very family-oriented town. It's, old and young and everybody in between.
Next question is interesting. How diverse is the population? Let's see. Well, first of all, Robin and I live next door to a black woman. We are obviously white people.
Yeah.
And we love her. She's beautiful. The people in the house right behind us, it's a black family. So I don't know if that's what you mean. As far as age groups, it's all age groups.
Sure.
Diverse as far as ethnicities.
Our neighbors are Hispanic right over there.
Yeah, and not only that, but we got a Mexican restaurant right around the corner.
It's very diverse here.
A lot of people here from New York, and a lot of people like Robin's from Wisconsin. Wow, it's pretty diverse, I would say. That whole myth that the South is going to be very what do you call it, racist? Redneck, racist. Well, some people might be, but I don't know. In general, it doesn't seem like we are.
I don't think so either. I think any community a person moves into, no matter what state you move into, it's up to an individual person if they're going to have an attitude toward others. Marion County welcomes everyone, and we all seem to get along.
All right, we might disagree on this next question.
Okay.
The answer to the next question, you might get two different opinions.
Okay.
What are the best neighborhoods for families, singles, or retirees? Want me to go first?
You go.
Okay. I think for families, singles, and retirees, the best neighborhoods are the ones that, I hate to be so generic, but the ones that you feel comfortable in. I am not a fan of the retirement communities. I'm not a fan of homeowner associations. I know a lot of people are. I don't know how Robin feels about this, but I mean, if you think about it, put it this way, if you could afford it, we just looked at one today, by the way. We didn't look at it as if we were moving there, but we just read about it. $500 a month for homeowner association fees.
Yes.
That's kind of high for me. But if that's not high for you, if that's no big deal, if you're in that bracket, then why not? Because then they cut your grass, they take care of everything. You have access to all the amenities, the swimming pools and everything. But aside from that, I just like living in a neighborhood where I hear kids, riding bicycles, and I hear the kids next door. They're singing. They're doing karaoke in their backyard.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
They're doing slip and slide on the back lawn. So yeah, I like being around kids.
It's all your personal taste, because there are a variety of 55 plus communities in Marion County, Florida, and they have their own rules, their own regulations, and you just have to check out every 55 plus community to see if that's the one for you.
How easy is it to meet new people and build a social circle? Well, that's up to you.
Of course.
See, I am not the best person when it comes to trying to make new friends. Robin is really good at this. And so I piggyback on Robin's social skills. But we go to a church, and that helps. I really think if you belong to an organization, something that you feel comfortable in, then you'll meet people that'll become your friends, right?
Oh, sure. You go to a church, you go to the bowling alley, you might want to sign up for a bowling league, something like that. It's very, very easy to meet people here. Everybody has such a diverse group of interests down here. If you're a fisherman, there's plenty of boat places to buy boats and tackle and things like that. Churches, like Larry said, are a good thing. Nightclubs, bars, it all depends, what your social skills are.
That wasn't me.
No, it was,
Even when I was younger, that wasn't me. I tried it, it just wasn't me.
Yeah.
She tried it. She was great. She danced.
Well, sure, I love dancing.
Yeah, see.
Sure. Well, it's really great, because whenever you move to a new place, it's up to the person that's moving to the new place to introduce themselves to their community. You buy a house, you move into an apartment complex, you move into a duplex. You knock on the door and say,
You know-
"Hey, I'm brand new here, and this is my name."
I can tell you a story.
You know, just introduce yourself, and life takes care of itself.
One person can make all the difference. I mean, one person can be negative to you, and you say, "Gosh, I hate this town. I'm moving. I'm going back home."
Yeah.
And on the other hand, one person can make a big positive difference. And I'm going to tell you about one person who says that Robin and I made a big difference in a positive way when he first moved to town. I will not name him nor identify him, but he was a guest on the radio show. And he just got hired in town to have some kind of
A job.
a position in
He had
town.
a job.
And it was a position that was interesting, so we had him as a guest on the radio. Now, I had never met him before, and the radio station restroom was outside the station. So I had to go past him, and I didn't know he was our guest. He was standing, and I thought he was just some kid standing outside. Later on, he wanted to know how to come into the radio station, and I said, "Oh, come on in. That's where I work." He introduced himself as the guest, and I thought, "Oh wow, he's so young." I thought I was going to meet an older guy. Okay. Years later, he was making a presentation, and he said that Robin and Larry, that's me, were the first two people he met who I had no idea. And we made such a positive impact on him that he fell in love with the town. I was like, wow. You never know, you know?
Yeah, you're still here after all these years.
Still here. Are there ample opportunities for outdoor activities like boating, fishing, and hiking? Oh my gosh, yes. This is the capital of that kind of stuff.
Oh, certainly.
You're not going to find a better place to go hiking, camping, biking, boating.
Fishing.
The only thing you don't have here is mountains.
Swimming.
So you can't really go mountain climbing or that kind of hiking. But yeah, we've got some beautiful parks.
Oh, they're absolutely gorgeous. And to find out more about all of the activities and things when you're moving here, just, write a letter to the Chamber of Commerce's in whatever city that you're moving into and ask them.
Or
say, can you send me a brochure of this, that, and the other?
Or search on YouTube for people like us who have purposefully taken the camera and walked down some of the trails, gone into some of the hotels and restaurants. And there's more than us. There's so many people who do this. So yeah, you'll get a good idea of what a community's like from watching these videos.
Yeah, do a Google search.
But make sure you have people who are going to be honest with you. Rob and I just try to be ourselves and be honest with you.
Sure.
All right, how do the crowds in tourist seasons impact daily life? In Ocala, not bad. Orlando, yes. It's a huge yes.
Well, Ocala's not bad, but you do have certain events here. Ocala, Marion County is a huge horse community. So there are certain times during the year that there are horses, like Pastafino horses, for a whole week. They're competing with each other and everything, and there's a whole influx of people. We just had a huge concert called Rock the Country. Kid Rock was the headliner, and there were over 10,000 people that attended there.
Yeah.
The University of Florida is about 34 miles north of Ocala. The Gators have the football games, and then when the visiting team comes, they'll commandeer a hotel in Ocala, and then not the football teams themselves, but the football fans. They'll commandeer a hotel in Ocala. A lot of people, a lot of influx of people. Well, they do, because they have stuff to sell and everything. So there are different events throughout different times of the year, and we have something called Light Up Ocala, which all of the lights light up in the town square of Ocala once a year, right the weekend before Thanksgiving, and there's at least 10,000 people that go to that. So, it all depends what activity is going on when throughout the year.
Yeah, and one of the things, too, when you live here and you have family that doesn't live here and they come to visit you, they pretty much always want to go to the theme parks like Disney World and Universal Studios. So you just kind of make that part of the routine. You're going to go there.
Daytona Beach.
But in today's, yes, and that's a beautiful place, by the way. In today's world, compared to like when we were younger, you have to make reservations for like all the parks. You can't just go there anymore and buy a ticket, I think,
Yeah.
from what I hear.
Right.
And also there are some better, like less crowded times. I don't like the crowds at the theme parks. I'm not a fan of that. But I really like the theme parks. They're fun. The music is usually great. The food is expensive, but it's fun, you know.
Sure.
But the truth is, if it's really crowded, I'd rather go. Like January 10th, like after New Year's and before the spring break starts, that's a good time. It's cool, you know, it's beautiful.
And also, Ocala, Marion County is located in the north central part of the state of Florida. So you can make a lot of day trips. You can go to Jacksonville. You can go to Daytona
we're in a good
Beach.
location.
You can go to Clearwater Beach. I mean, everything is usually within reach of a day trip. So it makes it really nice.
All right, let's see. What are the general safety and crime rates in the neighborhoods I'm considering? I don't know what neighborhood you're considering. But the word neighborhood is the key word in this question. Some neighborhoods, you know what, you look up, I have an app for this. There's actually an app that'll show you the crime rates. The app is called Newsbreak. Just go to the Newsbreak app, it'll have a crime rate thing on it. And you can see what kind of crime. But there's always going to be crime. It's a shame in our world that people can't behave themselves. But
no matter where you go.
But there are some places that are worse than others, absolutely. But you know, even in New York City, you could have a crime rate in one neighborhood that doesn't even represent like 2 blocks over.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And check with the Marion County Sheriff's Department and the Ocala Police Department. Tell them the address that you're thinking
that's a
of
good idea.
moving to, and they'll be honest with you. They'll tell you. Sure.
Yeah, not a bad idea. What are the local emergency services like? Top notch. They get 5 stars across the board.
They do.
From me. I don't know how Robin feels.
No, I concur. Sure.
I mean, they really do their job. They are, oh my gosh. These are mostly young men and women who have dedicated their lives to helping people who have had the most horrendous thing happen to them, a car accident, a heart attack. Oh my gosh. I've been in the hospitals and seen the emergency room workers. They are unbelievable. They are gifts from God. So yes, the local emergency services are outstanding.
Yeah, and the fire rescues and everything, they always go above and beyond also because they're always at the schools, you know, interacting with the children. They're always in the different communities, in the different neighborhoods. They have great programs for everybody. They're just, like Larry said, top notch.
Last question. Are there specific considerations for pet safety given the climate and the wildlife? I have a couple of answers.
Yeah.
You want me to have one of them?
You go ahead.
All right. You're going to move into a hot place, okay? You're not going to want to take a long walk with the dog like you used to do in Central Park or wherever you come from, okay? You're going to be hot, and you're going to have a golf cart, and you're going to say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the dog on the leash and ride the golf cart and let the dog walk.
That was terrible.
You see Robin shaking her head no?
True story.
I have seen this so many times. That is really unfair to the dog. That is horrible. Don't do that.
No.
But I'm assuming you're smarter than that.
Yeah.
All right. But the other thing is, don't go near the lake shores with your dog.
Any body of water.
Because these alligators, I am not kidding, the alligators love dog meat. I know that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
But that's the absolute truth. And they are not slow. They look slow, but they will jump out. I haven't seen it personally, but I've seen it in the news.
Well, we saw those alligators at one time. The alligators are submerged. You don't even know they're there. And we were in a park, a state park, walking your dogs.
I had 2 dogs.
Right.
I had 2. Okay,
right.
So I'm guilty of making the mistake that I just told you not to make. But fortunately, we did see the alligators go under the water, and they were heading our way. And I realized, oh my gosh, we got to get away from the shore. And we
Yeah.
did, and we did.
And we weren't super close to the shore either. We've seen people super close, but we weren't that close.
Yeah, and
It's
we saw the
scary.
other day, we saw two ladies with two dogs in the shallow water of a lake. And there's a sign right there that says, be aware of alligators. So just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and no dogs, but they ignored the signs.
And the
No
other,
dog
let me tell you
signs.
something. The other day, not the other day, maybe a month or so ago, Robin and I went for a walk at Griffin State Park. Okay, look it up. It's in Floral Park. I can't remember the name of the town. We just wanted to go for a walk, take a video, whatever. And guess what we saw? A bear. I'll put a B-roll in here. There's the bear.
Yeah, a bear.
Okay, now,
A black
after we
bear.
see the bear and the coast is clear, the bear runs away, no problem. We see a lady standing outside of a restroom waiting for her husband, and she's holding the leash with a beagle on the other end of the leash, a dog. So I said, did you see the bear? And I don't know if she said she did or not, I don't know, but I told her there was a bear and it was going that way. And I pointed to the trail the bear went down. Then her husband comes out of the bathroom and she says, honey, those folks saw a bear. Where? Let's go find him. And they went walking down the trail and I could hear the dog barking. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Bears kill, okay? They
Yeah.
kill.
right. We also have panthers here. And the state park, only a few yards from us was the children's playground, the restrooms, like Larry said, the parking lot. So,
Right.
you know, bears, that's their area. A lot of nice, that's their area. So you got to be careful.
That was the last question, but
Okay, good.
I feel like our answers may have scared you.
We're being honest.
We have prepared you for the circumstances that might be worst case scenarios.
Yeah.
But the truth is, both Robin and I have lived here over 50 years,
Yep.
right?
52 years for me.
Okay. So
53 for
it's
you.
been a really good experience. Florida has been really good to us. And it really has been not that much different. I'm looking at the porch right now. There's a lizard doing push-ups on the porch. I am not making it up.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, I see
He's
him.
about
There he is.
he's about
yeah.
6 inches long, and
Yeah.
he's doing push-ups.
There's got to be a female there somewhere that he's looking. Yeah, there he goes. He
Oh,
spotted her.
all right. Well, we're talking. Let's see if we can get a video of him with my
Oh,
phone.
he ran up.
I know.
off.
I know. When I
There's
see
a
him,
female.
when I see him again.
But I've raised both of my children here. They graduated with high honors
Yeah.
from public school. They both have great super jobs. You can't beat it. This is a wonderful place to live, wonderful place to retire in, a wonderful place to raise a family, and just make your own opinions up about anything. Don't let anybody veer you in one direction or the other.
By the way, your questions were great, and I think
Thank
what I
you.
want to title this video is "Honest Answers to Tough Questions About Living in Florida."
Yeah, nice.
Because we have really tried to be as honest as we can, but at the same time, we don't want to scare you.
Sure.
Let's think of some positive things. The positive things are there's no snow.
Yeah.
Which we actually miss the snow sometimes. But,
Oh yeah,
Um,
not that far of a drive to
it's
go to
it's
see
really a
snow
beautiful place. If you like the beach, we don't live on the beach, but we live like an hour and a half drive. It's easy to
here. And
get
if
to.
you like clear springs to swim in, they're
Oh,
beautiful.
we got the most beautiful,
Snorkeling.
beautiful springs.
A lot of picnic areas. Everything's great here.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
And a
yeah,
lot of entertainment, movie theaters, restaurants, places to dance.
let's go. Well, I'm not trying to promote our channel, but if you look through our channel, you'll see a lot of videos of us having a really good time here, walking through the woods, except for the one time we saw the bear. And I think we got a couple of videos of us canoeing, and it's really it can be a beautiful place. Yes.
Sure.
And P.S. If you're selling a house up in New York or the Chicago area or any place where houses sell for what I would call a fortune, you can take that money you just got from the sale of your house and you can buy a beautiful home here for like 1/3 of what you sold your house up north for.
Oh, sure.
And then you have a big old nest egg that you can live off of if you're retiring. I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, kids. Hopefully that helped. I don't know. I don't know who's watching right now, but thank you for the questions.
Thank you.
And if you have any more questions, you can put them in the comments, I'll try to answer them.
Okay. So take care, be good, don't forget to write.
And remember, the world, wait, did I forget part of it?
Writing is very
Oh,
important.
writing is very important, yes. And the world spins fine.
On her own.
Baby.
Yeah.